The more bumper stickers the vehicle has, the ittier the driving becomes. In Indonesia, whenever you're dealing with anyone working in the government, police officers, custom officers, airport security, etc., when they start talking about how strict the rules are or how they need to meet some sort of quota, that means they're expecting a big bribe. I tend to play dumb and go, oh, okay then. I guess I'll just have to throw this thing out, go to court, not bother getting this document. It's fun watching them panic and try to find a subtle way of asking for a bribe without saying they want a bribe. 437,737 means herpes in online dating. I saw a profile of a girl saying she has 437,737 cats and thought, I'm sure that number has some significance. Apparently if the person puts that number in their profile, it means they have herpes and they want to let people know without getting embarrassed. I was once on a cruise ship and there was an announcement on the tannoy for the cruise Starlight. Some were visibly shaken and it caused quite a bit of upset. Later discovered that was code for elderly passenger has died. The QEII had a small onboard mortuary. Comcast has an awesome one. If you call the cancellation line and say I would like to cancel my account, they will offer you premium channels and it for free. The Jeep wave. I rode in a Jeep for the first time a few weeks ago and got waved at a few times before I asked what was going on. When I worked at a supermarket many years ago, we had code 12 which was called on the speakers if they saw a very attractive person in the store. The code would also say where, so for example code 12 bread. We had a code for E36. Just can't remember the other one. If you hear waiters and waitresses talking about Canadians in the South, they mean black people. Also, if you hear them say they are in the weeds, it means they're so busy they barely know what the duck is going on and need help. When dealing with the Japanese, that will be very difficult means no. When a motorcycle taps his helmet, it means cops up ahead. When a car gives you 2 quick flashes, it means speed trap ahead. Code Adam stickers on the front of stores mean that the employees are being trained on how to deal with a missing child report. I've seen my dog wink at me before. I'm convinced she's in the know. A few years ago, I went to pick up a large pizza from Marcos in Michigan and the cashier asked, "Would you like that cut with a clean knife?" And I was like, WTF. She looked super frightened and rushed the order after that. Was that a code? In my office, when someone announces, "Your ride's here," that means somebody unidentified has just walked in. It's a closed, private office with no receptionist or public coming and going. If it's nobody we're expecting, it sounds better than somebody just walked in the door. Man or woman wearing a black ring on your dominant hand ring finger means they are in the lifestyle, aka, swingers. Every married couple needs a secret code. No need to the 2 of them. That means I'm bored. Let's go home. There's the male nod code. I asked a guy what was up with it once and he explained it like this. Down is a nod of respect. Either to acknowledge doing something the nodder approves of, or it denotes a more professional business only relationship. A nod up is more contextual. If the men know each other, the upward nod is like, "Hey, what's up? I acknowledge that we know each other but have nothing to say right now and or am in a hurry busy." An upward nod can also be disrespectful and aggressive in ways I don't quite grasp. I guess as a display of dominance, not easy to understand as an outside observer. Transportation of dangerous goods labels on tanker trucks. ACA UN numbers. 1202 is diesel. 1203 is gasoline. 1075 is propane. 1267 is crude. 1993 is anything flammable. I was driving behind a truck on the highway the other day and didn't recognize 2448. Molten sulfur. The color of twist tie on your bread bag indicates which day of the week that bread was made. Easy for grocery stores to spot aging bread on the shelves. When you're at a grocery store and you hear 21 on 9, it means the employee at checkout counter 9 is under 21 years and they need someone over 21 to sell the customer liquor. Live in Illinois. Still hear it call out today. Call your guy means you are about to get ditched by your cokehead friends. Those little numbers and letters all over your electronics actually mean useful things. programmer can use that information to, well, program your electronics, or even debug them, if it's worth it. Although these days people usually just buy something new. The info is there though, if you want to try fixing it instead. When you're on a Windows computer, Alt F4 will unlock the extra core, letting your computer run way faster. At the mall, they taught us to use Nora if someone was being belligerent and we needed to get the cops in here. Nora equals need officer right away. For example, if a guy was at the counter screaming and cursing, threatening us but we couldn't escape, he won't leave and we felt unsafe, we'd ask him to hold while I called a manager. Then I'd get the phone, call the police station in the mall, legit cops, not mall cops, and say something like, "Hi Nora, this is so and so calling. I have a customer issue I was hoping you can help with." Then hang up and announce the manager was on the way. Cops showed up instead. Few years ago I worked as a nightclub bouncer so I could make some extra cash. The code for all security to the dance floor because it is erupting riot imminent was for the DJ to play Usher, yeah. Noticeable because it was an EDM club that had a bad reputation for fighting and the song was so obviously out of place we'd all be alerted. To this day I can't hear the song without getting a surge of adrenaline and getting ready to brawl for my life. Not so much anymore, but back when everyone had to be secretive about being gay, there were all kinds of signs and signals. My uncle says he kind of misses those days because it was all like a tightly knit secret club that was strongly bonded because of the mutual mortal terror of HIV/AIDS when it first appeared. When driving into road construction, if they're set up correctly, the barricades should be faced in a way so the diagonal lines tell you which way you should be going, as shown in my IT diagram. However, they do get moved often and can be wrong. But if the contractor and inspector are on the ball, they should help you out. K18. K18s exist all around us nowadays. From simple personal annoyances to world-changing events, K18s have been the source of more fallout in my lifetime than any single other code I can think of, and most people don't know what it is. K18 is a tech support error code for a mistake which occurs roughly 18 inches from the keyboard. Edit. Grammar. I read on a Reddit thread about nonverbal cues once that people will have a rising or higher tone at the end of their sentence if they are lying. I now pick up on this and it helps me notice when someone isn't telling the truth in their responses. For example, me, "We should get pizza for dinner." So, "Yeah, that's fine," with much higher voice than normal. Me, "Are you sure?" So, "It's just that I don't really feel like pizza," etc. Common examples would be the hobo symbols and things like code white being a kidnapping at Walmart. Lawyers know the terms and conditions are code for they will never read this it. I'm a police dispatcher, and if you hear a 10-100 over the radio, that officer is busy in the bathroom. AMD will be 10-8. Clear, as soon as he finished up. The Audi badge is a secret code to all other road users to signal that the driver probably drives like a knobhead. If the price tag ends in 97 cents, the item is on clearance and won't be marked down further. If you're in the know, you can tell a lot about homes, businesses, and other commodes based on the plants growing outside if you can identify them. For example, if I see a large patch of dollar weed growing somewhere, I know that spot is getting too much water. I can also tell from the weeds which weed killer, or none, are being used. Then there's certain plants that indicate, shall we say, some places where you could obtain some less than legal goods or services. For example, if you notice lots of Sarracenia surrounding someone's yard or garage, it might be safe to assume that location is trying to deal with a fly problem. What activity could be taking place in a suburban neighborhood that would attract that many flies? Could be a whole bunch of things, but none of them are common and many are nefarious. Of course, certain plants emit smells as well. If you know those smells, you can find things. For example, this past summer while walking through my neighborhood, I detected a faint scent of decaying citrus. This led my nose to a horribly neglected lemon tree growing outside a vacant property. Cleaned my garbage disposal and made it smell nice. Haha. 2319. We have a 2319. 110 on an application meant no higher. If you draw a downward diagonal line between the 11, you get an N. So, 110 becomes no. Hospital codes. Code blue, cardiac respiratory arrest. Code yellow, bomb threat. Code pink, infant kidnapped, usually from land. Code purple, missing child. Code white, IT outage. Code orange, toxic radioactive chemical spill. Code silver, active shooter. Code 1, slip and fall faint. Code internal external, undisclosed emergency inside outside. Edit, forgot code gray, which is a combative patient. Sorry about format. I'm on mobile. Utility locating is everywhere. Not sure if rules are international, but US rules are such. Yellow equals gas. Red equals electric. Orange equals communications. Green equals sewer. Blue equals water. Pink equals engineering. Private work done where actual excavation is not planned. Purple equals irrigation, I believe. So anytime you see these marks, under them is the aforementioned underground utility line. The more you know. Also dial 811 before you dig. US it's free. SU. What happens if you knock out the telephone and your poor old neighbor is calling 911? Blood on your hands for being the fool. When I had to remove an unwanted visitor from the lobby, reception would call me and say your FedEx package has arrived. I work at a coffee shop and a few co-workers and I have a secret language to alert each other when an attractive customer walks in. In the UK, a TANO announcement that calls for a MR SANS to come to X location is code for a firebomb threat in that area. This is because SANS is one of the most uncommon names in the UK, so it's very unlikely this chap's gonna turn up at the location, especially if it's on fire. I was in Waterloo Station and had a Mr. SANS call to